Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
I'm Jonny B. Together, we are Modelling for Advantage.
So today we're going to look at the new Space Marines Codex. Not the crappy old Space Marine Codex that Jonny B's got there. And the incredibly old Ultramarine supplement, which John would still like to use.
I bought this yesterday.
You bought that yesterday, yeah?
Ultramarine supplement.
Ultramarines Codex supplement. Alright, we're going to go through this. We're going to try not to do too much of what you've probably already seen a lot of, which a lot of the other channels are doing. We're going to cover the key topics, but in particular, as a series of casual gamers, we're interested in a lot of the power level changes and what that's likely to mean for the more casual gamer. So we'll talk about that in more detail. So the first big one is, instead of "and they shall know no fear," we've now got Angels of Death.
Which I like.
Yeah, Angels of Death. I like the name of it.
Well, they've always been called the Angels of Death, but they've never had anything.
An ability call.
Yeah.
And the Angels of Death is just a catch-all term that includes various Marine unique abilities. So they get Still and You Shall Know No Fear. It's just covered under Angels of Death.
Okay.
They get the Bolt of Discipline, which we've
Completely
already had
new. That's
before.
a rule, isn't it?
Yep, and it still applies in precisely the same way. And then you get the new Shock Assault rule, which is pretty rad. If this unit makes a charge move, is charged, or performs a heroic intervention, add 1 to the attack's characteristics of models in this unit until the end of turn. So +1 attack in the first round of combat.
Everyone's a space wolf.
Everyone's a space wolf. Everyone's a blood claw. But blood claws are even better.
Black claws.
Blood claw.
Black claws have got extra.
Blood claws are well extra. So that's cool. That's really good. That really is going to improve the effectiveness of the Tactical Marine. I think one of the big things that always disappointed me about the Tactical Marine is one attack is just a joke.
It makes Space Marines,
yeah,
don't they? Those rules there, it makes them actually sexy sweet on the table.
Sexy sweet on the table, yeah. I mean, there's so many like 8-9 point models that have got 2 attacks. They may not have power armor and stuff, but 1 attack is, in this edition, which is a really lethal edition,
yeah,
1 attack just isn't up to it. Yeah. The only circumstance I can see where this doesn't apply, off the top of my head, in the first round of combat, is if you're heroically intervened into. Because you were not charged, didn't charge, and you didn't perform a heroic intervention.
Yeah.
That's quite unusual, but there is a circumstance.
Okay.
So then the next thing that they get, the combat doctrine. So this is the idea that the Marines are operating this ratchet system in battle, where they start, where their focus is on their long-range superior firepower. As they close, it's on their rifles and so forth, and then they get their knives out and get involved. And essentially, these give an AP bonus to the different types of weapons at different stages of the battle.
Okay, that's new.
So you start on a Devastator doctrine. Arm penetration characteristic of heavy and grenade weapons are improved by 1 whilst this is active. So anything with a heavy weapon and anything with the grenade weapon type.
Okay.
So it's not all the big weapons,
yeah,
but it's most of them.
Well,
and it's
especially
nice,
at that range.
And it's nice that heavy weapons are not just a liability.
Yes.
Because heavy weapon is just a marker that says, is a bit more crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tactical doctrine then. So you change during the course of the battle. You can elect at the beginning of a combat round to move down a step. So you start on Devastator. In round 2, you can drop down to Tactical. And it's a one-way move.
Okay.
Tactical doctrine, it's rapid fire and assault weapons get that AP modifier. So in round 2, your bolters are kicking out AP -1.
And you're going to be
storm bolters.
You're going to be right there, aren't you? So in effective range.
Yeah. Now as a wolf, it upsets me a bit because I'm probably in combat in round 2.
Agreed.
And I couldn't take the assault doctrine until turn 3.
Yes.
If you're serious about assaulting, you're not waiting until turn 3. The assault doctrine, which comes in turn 3, is AP characteristic of pistols and melee weapons. That is going to turn your Reavers and your Scout with pistol and chainsword and all those kind of things. Suddenly having that AP1 is going to be a big change. Yeah.
Now, this isn't the first time I've seen combat doctrines.
No?
7th edition had this.
7th edition. That's not that long ago.
It's not that long ago. So they've brought that in. The only difference is, I won't go into that, but it's pretty much the same but different. The only difference is this has got the escalation of it, so the Devastator Tactical Assault, which I like.
Yeah.
I think I like that. The other ones were like you could choose one at the beginning of the phase. Still only one use, but you could choose. So
Right.
I don't know if, well, you would have loved that then. You would have gone, I'll use the Assault Doctrine this turn.
Yes.
But no, it's good to see that they're back.
I believe when we get to the back of the book, there are command points you can spend to give one unit one of these tactical doctrines as different from the rest of your force.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
And to get this, your entire army has got to be Space Marine.
All of it.
All
Everything.
of it.
No knights.
The only exception are servitors and unaligned units.
That's good, because I use
So if you
servitors
take
so
a
much.
cheese knight in this list, you ain't getting it. You could still take one assassin with requisition sanctioned, because that's not in your list. That CP one where you get the assassin, he's not in your list. You don't have to choose which assassin it is.
That's interesting.
So you could still have the one assassin, but you couldn't have 6 of them or whatever.
It's not a soup list, it's a crouton list.
Yeah, you can have a crouton. You can have some
soup.
black pepper
Yes.
in your Space Marine.
That's all.
But you don't have to be all salamanders or whatever.
Okay.
You know, but you have to be all Space Marines.
Right.
I don't know what unaligned units might count. Maybe people like Inquisitors are unaligned or something. I don't know. You know? No? Alright, moving on then. So, we'll start to look at the units.
This is going to be interesting.
So, the characters...
Shall we start off with Captain Sicarius, shall we? What's he like in that book?
All the characters have been stripped out of this book, so far as I can see.
Oh.
They're all going, presumably, in the Specialist Codex. So, yeah, you're getting pages and pages of individual characters. So, these supplements are coming out. We haven't got one.
We do.
Yet. You've got
the Ultramarines.
Is that from 2nd edition?
Yeah.
2nd ed, mate.
Still valid.
Still legit. Yeah.
What you got then? Your first
So
thing?
we start with the Primaris Captain.
Okay, I'm sure I've got one of those. There he is. He's on
Primaris
similar
Captain.
Start.
So presumably everything is the same across
stat
here for
line,
the Primaris Captain.
9-3, yeah.
Yep. And he's still got the same weapon options. The difference is his power level has dropped from 6 to 5.
Okay.
Just your standard Captain.
20 point drop.
So, yeah. So I think a lot of the power level drops we're going to see in this are reflective of points drops that we'd had through the chapter approved, which hadn't made it through to the Codex, making some things like the Captain in Gravis Armor was stupidly expensive in power for what he could do. So your standard Primaris Captain is 5 power. He's got the mastercrafted rifle type options. The best option in here for this guy is still. There was like a limited edition Primaris Captain with a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol. Yeah. If you're going to use one of these guys in Power Fists, in Power Level, you probably want to kit bash yourself one of those.
A Primaris
we should have a look at that, yeah.
I've got none of that here, man.
No, because it was a limited edition model with its own data sheet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can this guy not
This
have...
guy can have it, look. It's model can be equipped with...
Power
or can be
sword.
equipped with 1 Power Fist and 1 Plasma Pistol. But he
Sweet.
gives up his rifle and his bolt pistol for
Okay.
it.
So that's him.
So the Captain in Gravis Armor then, he's come down to 6 power. He's otherwise the same, but I think... Have you got Captain in Gravis Armor?
I will have one. There he is. Captain of Gravis is 7 for me.
Yeah, so he's down to 6, but he's got an extra wound.
5, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6 wounds on here. 7 wounds on there.
7 wounds.
Okay.
7 wounds. And I think that's true of all of the Gravis Armor. They gained an extra wound.
Well, that's good.
So your Inceptors and your... they're not called Centurions.
Standard dudes.
Aggressors.
Yep.
They all got an extra wound, which I think they needed.
Well, yeah, because otherwise... How many wounds were they on?
2.
2?
Yeah.
So that's a normal Terminator.
Or a normal Intercessor. A normal Primaris Marine, yeah.
Yeah.
And extra, there's a lot of 2 damage weapons out there.
Yeah.
Is the real problem with Primaris. So that you're paying for that extra wound. In a lot of cases, that extra wound is irrelevant. So the Captain in Phobos Armor is obviously a new entry. If you've seen Shadow Spear, you've already seen this guy. So he's a Primaris guy. He's only 5 power level. And he's got his own special rifle, which allows him to target characters. It's only 1 shot, but look, 30 inches, Assault 1, Strength 4, AP -2, Damage 3.
This guy should load it with thunder hammers. What?
Loads it with a thunder hammer, like a Nerf gun. Yep.
Is that what he
And
does?
he's a crack shot with it, mate.
Wow.
30 inches, and it's assault. He can move and shoot without penalty. Your problem is the strength 4.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah. But if you're looking at like Eldar characters, Imperial Guard characters, cheap wizards, this guy can one-shot a lot of them guys.
Sweet.
On his Jack Jones. But he doesn't have a melee weapon. A lot of them. That he's still got the Primaris stat line, so he's got 6 wounds, 5 attacks. Power level 5, maybe worth taking. He's got a concealed position, so he can advance deploy.
So he's right up there.
He's got the Omni Scrambler, that's that thing that stops you from deep striking within 12 of him.
That's surely valuable.
Yeah, and he's got an Iron Halo and a Rights of Battle like any other captain. He's also got a camo cloak, so this guy has got a 1-up save in cover.
Right.
As a character.
Yeah, he sounds pretty cool.
Now, a lot of things that target characters ignore cover anyway, though. But, still good.
Standard.
Terminator Captain. Nobody cares about them these days. Different type of Terminator Captain. Regular Captain, still 5 points. What do you have for just a flat Captain?
Flat Captain! You're a flat Captain!
Flat Captain.
I believe they're 5. Still.
Yeah. Captain on Bike is in here. Presumably...
Where the fuck is my Captain?
Further the other way, I think. Captain on Bike at 6 power level. So there's still a thing. Captains on Bikes.
Were they in here? Cataphracti on Bike, there he is. 6 power there.
6 power, 6
there,
power,
so that's not changed. Standard Captain's 5 power.
So that's not changed, yeah.
Lieutenants, have they gone up?
Lieutenants have gone up to 5. Yeah, I think there were 4.
I'm sure they were 4.
They're elites, though. Ooh!
No, they're not.
This is an HQ. Lieutenants, yeah.
4. So 5.
They used to be 4, they're now 5. I think...
Why is that?
That is because the Thunderhammer price has gone up. On characters, and I understand why, as a Wolf player, a Thunderhammer on a character is 40 points. What? Because a Thunderhammer on a character is a game changer.
Yeah, but you got a dude that shoots Thunderhammers out of his Nerf gun.
Yeah, but he doesn't have 7 attacks though, does he?
No.
He has 1 shot.
Somewhere in here.
Thunderhammer's gone up to 40 points. And those lieutenants can take a Thunderhammer.
Yeah.
So the captain's price has stayed about the same because the captain models come down in price and the Thunderhammer's gone up in price.
Okay, so
the lieutenant's fairly stable, but a lot of these guys were on with it. So, 5 power. He's actually more expensive than the Primaris Lieutenant. Primaris Lieutenant is only 4.
But he can't have a Thunderhammer.
He can't have a Thunderhammer.
Because that would just be a kick in the balls.
He can have a mastercrafted rifle or a power sword.
He's firing thunder hammers out of his gun too.
Yeah, he can have a mastercrafted Stalker bolt rifle, damage 3.
Mate.
Yes, Stalker bolt rifle's gone up to 2 damage, by the way, if you missed that. Right, Librarian, obviously, everybody wants a Force Axe and a suit power armor. Now 5 points, 5 power level. What was the old Librarian? We're still 5.
If only it was in the same. It's 6.
6. So that's good.
Drop it
cheaper your regular one. You got your entry for the Lieutenant in Phobos armor is again 4. So this guy's equipment is a bit odd, and this may be reflective of the models that they're putting out. So the standard Phobos armor dude has a bolt pistol, mastercrafted Oculus, carbine, and paired combat blades. And they've changed the rules for paired combat blades. So his rifle is rapid fire 1, strength 4, 2 damage, and it ignores cover saves. And it's 2 damage rapid fire. So that's alright. It's alright as a gun on a character. But a paired combat blades on a 6, on an attack roll of 6,
scores 1 additional hit.
1 additional hit. Now I think in Shadow Spear it was 1 extra attack.
Well, yeah, it would be, surely. Does a combat knife gives you a combat knife gives you +1 attack?
Yes.
If you're a scout.
And I think under the old one that was definitely worse than a combat knife. Whereas this is probably better.
You like that one?
I like it better than the old ruling for it, which is on a 6 you got an extra attack. This is on a 6 you get an extra hit. So you have potential for more.
Stacking them up.
Yeah, paired combat blades there. Now, this model, so this is the Phobos armor, and I assume that the intention is that this is the Vanguard guy. But the same model, so can be equipped with a heavy pistol and a combat knife instead of the rifle and paired combat blades. If it is, it has smoke grenades instead of a grav shoot and gains the Reaver keyword.
Is that the new Derpy dude, the miniature that's jumping that isn't released yet?
Probably. So you can have this same lieutenant in Phobos. You can have them as a Reaver or as a Vanguard lieutenant, and it gives them slightly different equipment.
That's different.
Yeah, and it's got the company heroes rule like the old lieutenant, so you can take more than one. But not all of the lieutenants do. Primaris lieutenant is separate from the one in Phobos, so you can't take one of each of those. But yeah, the Vanguard type guys, 4 power level, interesting, probably a little bit better than the standard lieutenant for the same points, especially with these options for deep strike with grab shoots and so forth. Yeah,
so many additional rules.
Primaris librarian down to 5.
7?
From 7. That's a heck of a drop. It's just a standard librarian. Stat line's got a 4 sword, deny the witch, and knows 2 psychic powers.
Mate, that is exactly... No, it's not exactly the same box. They've changed some stuff. Jump pack assault. What's that all about? Oh, I'm looking at the librarian up there. I need to be looking at this one. It is exactly the same thing, but they edited the power. That's it.
Yeah, but down to 5. That's a huge drop, and I think you'll see more of them. Now the Primaris Chaplain at 4. The Chaplains have been upgraded.
You remember the more bitey now?
Well, you remember the Chaos dudes got like rites of battle. The Chaos Chaplains. What are they called? Dark Apostles.
Yes.
So the Dark Apostle got some new rules, almost like spells, but you don't have to roll for them in the same way, or they can't be denied. Now we have litanies. So they know the Litany of Hate, which is re-roll hit rolls for attacks with melee weapons, friendly chapter within 6 inches. So that's what the guy already did before, but we have some new ones.
What you got?
So on page 188, let's see what these new litanies are, shall we?
88.
So litanies of battle. We've got 6 of them. Gosh, doesn't this look like a spell list for chaplains?
What?
Litany of Faith. So the first one, the Litany of Faith, is essentially a 5-up feel no pain bubble, 6 inches around a chaplain, but only against mortal wounds. And it doesn't stack with other feel no pains.
Still good to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Mortal wounds are rather common now, are they not?
Number 2, the Catechism of Fire. Select friendly chapter unit within 6 inches. When resolving a ranged attack against the closest visible enemy, add 1 to the wound roll. Now that doesn't sound great, but imagine that that's a repulsor. With the like 80 shots or whatever it does. All of which are strength 5 or 6 shots. Plus 1 to wound.
Yeah, that's going to mix it up quite a bit.
Yeah. Or if that's blood claws on the charge against something like a knight, which they're really going to struggle to wound. That is pretty horrific, I think. With a high volume of dice type situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy is only 4 power. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys. Exaltation of Rage. Again, select 1 friendly chapter unit within 6. When you make an unmodified roll of a hit, you gain an additional attack with the same weapon against the same target.
Unmodified roll of a hit?
Unmodified roll of 6.
Oh, okay.
Unmodified.
I was about to say, because that would be epic. So as long as you hit, you get another hit. I like that rule.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Mantra of Strength. Add 1 to this model's attack and strength characteristics, and add 1 to the damage of melee weapons this model is equipped with. So if the guy is fighting in single combat, now +1 attacks, strength, and damage. This guy does already hit quite hard, I think. Crozius is 2 damage, and it's strength 5, maybe -1, and 4 attacks. Yeah, that's going to kill most characters.
So he can tell himself to be more angry.
More angry. Yeah, absolutely.
Do the mantra.
The recitation focus is number 5. So like 1 friendly model within 6, +1 to hit for a ranged attack.
Okay.
+1 to hit, yeah. So it's starting, I think, to offset some of the minus to hit penalties and problems that there are out there. And then finally, the Canticle of Hate. It's +2 to charge rolls for anybody within 6 of this model. That is massive.
That's a fair bit of tactical flexibility. Just,
Well,
you're gonna have these chaplains just literally strategically plopped around.
Well, I think you probably in your kind of
sitting
cheese
there.
lists, you're going to see chaplains with jump packs fly into a point where units deep strike in and then get a 7-inch charge.
Yep.
You know, we're like your what they call the jump pack elite dudes.
Yeah,
Vanguard veterans.
them dudes.
Are they Vanguard veterans?
They can be.
People like that, yeah. That's pretty nasty. Anything that changes some of those hardcore mechanics, like a minimum 9-inch type stuff, are really dangerous. So these rules don't just apply to the Primaris chaplain; they apply to all of them. But you only know one plus the Litany of Hate, which is the standard one.
So you can't just.
No.
You can't just go right. This turn I'm going to do that one.
No,
It's just one.
it's just
Which
one.
you can choose?
Well, for the standard one, I mean, it may be that some of the named chaplains
Have more than one.
have more than one,
Right.
or have unique ones.
Yep.
And we may find the litanies of battle vanilla, and in the Ultramarines Codex there might be a couple extra ones, or there might be a completely 6 different ones,
lists,
or
yeah.
whatever. I'm not sure about that. The Tech Marine at 4
Same.
is the same. Now, yeah, he's got some options to have plasma cutter and servo arm, and his
Same.
power is quite variable. But at 4 power level, that's quite a lot. I'm not feeling it for the Tech
Still
Marine.
not feeling it.
I'm not feeling the Tech Marine is going to get fielded. You'd need a lot of vehicles.
To make that worth, yeah. That model against D3 Lost Wings, same again.
I'm not seeing it, unfortunately.
Lieutenants. You in the squads yet? God, you're still
there's
going
still
through
loads of characters, isn't there?
God.
The regular chaplain is
Terminator,
4.
champion.
The full boss librarian is also 5, so he's much like the other one. But he's got there are 2 psychic disciplines in this book, one of which was in the Shadow Spear set. So the full boss librarian has got a different list of spells. He can't take from either. He has to take from that Vanguard list.
Okay.
All right. Chaplain in Terminator armor. Now onto the squad.
Yay! What you got?
Intercessor.
I noticed they've put intercessors before tactical squads in the presentation.
It is the age of the Primaris
This
Marine,
is not
mate.
good, man. This is
Intercessor
sad
squad.
times. Sad times.
So the Intercessor squad is still 5 power, and it's still an extra 5 to get an extra 5 guys.
Okay.
You still got the option of your 3 different rifles, but your rifles have got better. The standard rifle, which we saw a lot of before, that's just the same, the bolt rifle.
Bolt rifle 30, rapid fire 1, 4 -1 1.
The auto bolt rifle is 24 assault 3 instead of assault 2.
Okay. Still
So
no AP on that one though.
Still no AP
Okay.
on that. So you're giving up the AP in a little bit of range, and you're getting an extra shot at
Well,
all
at least
ranges.
it makes them, because that was the big thing. Why would you even take that? It's a short range. Okay, you can do it on the move kind of thing, but with no negative modifier, and
Yeah.
you're not really getting much from that.
No.
With Assault 3, okay, well at least it differentiates
Absolutely.
them from the
And
other
the
ones.
Stalker bolt rifle, strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage.
Ah, yes, that would seem to be a difference. Wow, same range, still heavy, jobs are good, but 2 damage, that makes them viable too.
Absolutely. You can still combat squad these guys. You can still take up to 10 of them for an extra 5 power. You can still have a grenade launcher for every 5 models. I'm not sure... Well, unless you plan to combat squad them. Because the auxiliary grenade launcher isn't a different weapon. It just says you can
Just
throw a
slap
grenade
it on there, yeah.
up to that. Well, the problem with that is you can only ever fire 1 of them then. Because you can only throw 1 grenade.
Yeah. It just gives you a 30-inch range.
Yeah, so what's the point in the second grenade
There is
launcher?
none.
There is none. Unless you're going to combat squad.
Yes.
Unless you're going to combat squad. I would like to have seen the grenade launcher have its own stat line and be treated as a different weapon, to be honest, as an alternative weapon profile. You've got the different options in here to reflect some of the unique sergeants, so you can take the new sergeant with the chainsword and the hand flamer, but in the equipment list for intercessor sergeants in the back, the sergeant can now take thunderhammers. Intercessors with thunderhammers.
Right.
Which is a lot better than just a knife and a rifle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Slightly.
don't remember how excited they were
Slightly.
when they could take power fists.
Oh my god.
Now they can take thunderhammers. And the sergeant's got 3 attack space, +1 for the Angels of Death thing. You've got 4 attack space. Yeah, they're going to hurt.
Mate, yeah.
Really, really hurt. Especially wolf ones.
Filth.
Thunderhammers. So we need to talk about kit bashing some Thunderhammers onto my...
I refuse to. I'm not going to do it.
Right. But there is some good news as we move over the page, John, as we start looking at the old tactical squad. Because the tactical squad,
Marines,
surprisingly, has received a bit of a buff in the power level. It's gone down to 4.
Okay, from 5.
And you can take the extra 5 guys for a +3.
Yeah.
So 7 for 7 power, you can get a 10-man tactical squad. You can still take, a grav cannon and a plasma gun and a combi plasma in that squad. You can still get all of those weapons.
But -2 power.
-2 power.
Wow.
But, it costs 2 power less.
Overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fantastic. I think that's
it's
really,
great.
really good. As a Space Wolf player, we were already paying 7 for Blood Claws. I don't think for Grey Hunters we might have been. Because it was a later Codex, so the points had come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's probably going to drop even more, actually, if there's a proper Space Wolf adjustment. Because we can't take missile launchers and grav cannons and stuff.
No, you can't.
No. The things that make this expensive.
Sucker!
Combi weapons, combi melter on the Sergeant, all that jazz. Tactical squads in power level are great. Because they have all that flexibility. You can take a fist or a hammer on a Sergeant. 3 weapons. Really good. Really flexible.
Deal with whatever you need
Deal with what you need. Yeah, absolutely.
Still got scouts? Whoa, this is all
got
new.
new-
No,
we've got new
no, what's
squads.
that? Let's have a look at the new squads before we
The
get back to
new
the scout.
squads. So new squads. We got the Infiltrator squad, which again were in Shadowspear.
Yep.
They were the new sort of line infantry.
I like these derpy dudes.
You see, I'm not terribly keen on these guys. Partly because I don't feel they're sufficiently different.
Okay.
Certainly from each other, but also from Infiltrators. I feel they really are trying to squeeze a Rizzler between a data sheet here, rather than having a data sheet with more options on it.
Oh, wow.
So the Infiltrator squad, this is the style of Marine that we looked at from the Shadowspear books. It's got a standard Primaris stat line, 6-inch move, 3 weapon skills, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 4 toughness, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, extra attack, extra leadership on the Sergeant. The squad can take a Witch Doctor, a medic.
Doctor.
The Helix Adept, who's potentially useful in that he can bring someone back from the dead if someone is dead and nobody is wounded. Otherwise he has to fix the wounded guy.
Right.
And then you've got to roll a dice. It strikes me that it will happen once per game, if at all.
If you remember.
Yeah. See, it doesn't look like you have to take the 10-man squad to get the Helix Adept, which is good, because you had to before.
Okay.
You can take him in the 5-man squad.
Would anybody
which is
actually
nice.
have done that?
Well, if you played the 10-man squad, you couldn't help it, because one of them was that, and it was a mono
okay.
build,
It was
wasn't
not,
it?
was not an option.
Yeah. So you get the medic guy, even in the 5-man squad, which is nice as the way I'm reading it. And they've got this marksman's bolt carbine, which on a 6, you bypass the 2-wound step. Roll 6 to hit. You don't have to roll to wound.
Random.
Yeah. This is back to squeezing a Rizzler. You're getting a lot of different rules applying to fundamentally a bolter.
It's why can't it be like the other bolt thing that we just looked at? The auto bolt doofer.
Yeah.
Why can't it be that?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Well, I'm not saying that this isn't useful, but this is
No,
one
it
of
is, but
many
it's like,
different
I
types
mean,
of bolter
why-
that you have to remember.
I don't even know what bloody bolt I'm using anymore.
These guys can advance deploy with concealed positions.
Good.
They can take the medic. They can combat squad. They have Omni Scramblers, so they've got this 12-inch deep strike denial, which is good.
Always
To
good.
reiterate, a 12-inch deep strike denial means you cannot be charged from deep strike.
Yay.
Even if they've got a 3d6 charge, because they are not within 12. They must be outside of 12, and if you're outside of 12, you're not within 12, you can't make a charge roll.
Unless you
End
cheat.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you cheat. Smoke grenades they can use. They're like vehicle smoke launchers. The Infiltrator comms array. If you don't take the Witch Doctor, you can have the Infiltrator comms array. The comms array effectively puts you next to count you as in range of captains and lieutenants.
I like that. That's a new thing, isn't it? From the
That's a new thing. If you don't take the Witch Doctor,
sorry, yeah,
Helix Adept, yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
That's really good.
I like that. As a wolf player, I've usually got my captain, my battle leader, and my wolf lord are in the middle.
They're over there somewhere, you know, doing the thing.
But if I had some of these guys in the backfield, but these are not backfield guys. These are advanced deploy guys. Now the Incursor squad, as I understand it, is a different squad. Also 5 power. Also 5 extra to take another 5 guys. You can have a 10-man squad. Same stat line. Same kit, I believe. Different equipment. It's got a different rifle. This rifle ignores cover.
Oculus bolt carbine.
That's the one I think the lieutenant has got.
Yeah.
Now these guys don't get the Helix Adept, the medic. They get a haywire grenade, and they also have these paired combat blades. So they've got this pair of knives that if they're on a 6 to hit in the fight phase, they get an additional hit. Yeah, it's not to be sneezed at.
Well,
because these guys have got
2 base.
Yeah, so the squad has got 11, 16 attacks in the first round of combat.
And any 6s.
And any 6s
or an extra
more.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a 5-man squad.
Yeah.
That's not bad going. They can combat squad. They've got concealed positions. They've got multi-spectrum array. Now the multi-spectrum array, when resolving an attack with a ranged weapon by a model in this unit, ignore hit roll modifiers and ballistic skill modifiers. So they're a little bit like those, is it Dark Reapers the Eldar have? These guys' ballistic skill and hit roll cannot be modified.
I'm trying to think of... Oh, my mind's gone blank of to any instances where it would be modified. That's really bad. Give me an example. That's really bad.
Well, the one that I'm wondering... So if you're -1 to hit, they're not affected by it. There may be some rules that are written that says their ballistic skill gets worse by 1 or something. I'm just wondering how this affects things. Like, is it the Colexus Assassin? One of the assassins...
Which can only ever be hit on a 6+. So it might be a whole thing.
How this interacts. I think it changes your ballistic skill to 6 rather than it can only be hit on a 6. It depends how it's worded. Yeah. And they got smoke grenades. But the haywire grenade. So these guys are lumping a massive anti-tank mine around.
I've heard about this.
I've seen it on the model. It looks really sweet. It's big. It's like presumably this thing is going to bury itself under the ground.
What's it do?
So, they plant it. If an enemy unit moves within 3 inches of a primed mine on a 2-op, every enemy unit suffers... That enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If it's a vehicle, D3 plus 1 mortal wounds. I mean, mortal wounds are great because they bypass entirely a unit's defences. And this is free. And if you're going to stick it on an objective, you've got to be within 3 inches of the centre of the objective. These guys just plop it down and move on.
That's genius.
It's not bad. D3 plus 1 if it's a vehicle. Well, I like it because it's enough to say that's going to hurt, but it isn't going to destroy your unit. It's going to stop you running over there with a termagant, but it's not going to stop a unit from taking it.
True. I'm thinking about some of the games that you've played recently, though, where by the time, especially the format that we play, by the time you get to those end stage... You're down to a few guys, so then
those guys are often characters, though.
Still, your characters are wounded by that time.
Yes, I'm a battle leader limping around with 1 or 2 wounds on a mangy wall. Yeah.
So that might.
Oh, absolutely.
Be a big thing. Just
yes, these guys look like they'd be good for just plopping down on that, and they've got that advanced deployment, and you build them from the infiltrator kit. I think. Because some people got Shadow Spear already, I think you're going to see a lot of these.
For the Incursor, just to mix it.
I suspect that in the 10-man box, and we've not seen it yet, there's one Witch Doctor and 1 Mind Dude.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, that would be my guess. But we'll have a look. So, Scout Squad is a big change. Down to 4 power from 6.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, the list same. I think it's just reflecting the broader dropping points of all the Space Marines and their equipment. Scouts down to 4. Romanus Apothecary at 3.
Have you no Crusader squad for you. I'll keep that in my Codex.
I've got it in my Imperial Guard Codex if I need it.
Apothecary Primaris.
Apothecary Primaris. Apothecary.
There he is.
So
4.
he was 4. He's down to 3.
Okay.
Which is nice. It's still the same.
TCA.
Again, in power level 4, power level, you could get the best part of a squad for that. This guy wasn't useful. And there's a lot of competition for the slots, the character slots. Not that you can't take another HQ, but that you can only spend a certain proportion of your force. You need troops, you need some transport, you need some bodies, some mobility.
For sure.
I think at 3 power level, I'd consider him.
Yeah.
I'd consider him. Certainly if I was going all infantry or infantry heavy. Yeah. And certainly where Primaris are concerned, potentially bring back 2 wound models.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, assuming you're not, as you've already said, carrying around a few wounds on you. Standard Apothecary is 3.
Yeah.
Same.
The Primaris Ancient is still 4.
Primaris Ancient, I've been past him, there he is, 5 before.
He was 5 before.
Would that change your... Would you now take a Primaris Ancient? Because the whole banner thing's pretty cool.
The banner thing is pretty cool if you shoot. The banner thing is crap if you fight.
Right.
As a wolf player, because you get to resolve 1 attack, don't you?
Yes.
And so a gun that is rapid fire 5 is 1 attack taking 5 shots. But in the fight phase, 1 attack is 1 of your many attacks.
Yeah, that's geared up for shooting. That's harsh.
It's a shooting game.
True.
Some of us like to punch things with our Marines, but fundamentally it's a shooting game. Because I've looked if you go in Hellblasters or something like that,
just have
this
him
guy,
there.
Anyway, if you're going to kill yourself, this guy rocks.
Why not? Or I don't know how that works out. Oh, shit.
So we've got Company Champion and Company Veterans. These guys, Company Ancient, these guys are not exciting. I don't think they're not significant. Servitors down to 2. Would you ever
I'd run a whole army of them.
A whole army of servitors?
Mate.
You'd have to kit bash them all.
Yeah.
Are there any servitors in production at the moment? Is there a Tech Marine and some metal servitors?
A Tech Marine with the metal servitors, yeah.
Are they horrid? I bet you love them.
They're alright. They all look like giant babies in baby grows with derpy faces and guns for arms.
Nice. And is that why these guys have such a strange data card?
Heavy bolters, plasma cannons, all sorts of random crap.
But they can't shoot for crap.
Well, no.
But they can use the Tech Marine's ballistic skill.
As long as they're within 6.
4 up. Yeah. So, servitors. 2 power. If you just want an extremely cheap unit.
I'm going to make a tournament-winning list with servitors with plasma cannons.
Servitors with plasma cannons.
Yeah.
And a chapter ancient.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it affects them, but Deptus Astartes chapter. They've got all the keywords.
They do have all the keywords, which is interesting.
That's really weird.
Because it said at the beginning that servitors didn't count, didn't it?
They're just...
They belong to the chapter. They just don't belong to their own mind.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mate, I'm doing that.
You're doing that.
Servitors, plasma cannons, chapter ancients.
Some people may be interested.
I like Terminators.
Squads. I think Terminators have probably got quite a bit cheaper.
Terminator Squad's 12 for me.
9?
9?
That's quite the drop. And then the Assault Terminators, 9. This is your hammers and shields, dudes. 9. They're going to see more play, I reckon. Yeah. If you play short form, casual, 4 objectives, that's not bad.
Mate.
2 wounds, 3 up save, 9 power level, 5 hammers.
I'm having those.
If they get in combat, they do hurt.
Yep. As long as you don't drop them down out in the middle of nowhere. Hey. What you got, Cavra?
We played a game where John had some Terminators with thunder hammers, and they came down in the wrong spot, so we just ran away from them. And they didn't catch.
Sharp.
They didn't catch.
Sharp.
Cataphractic Terminator's only 10.
There's some in here somewhere. 12.
Tartarus Terminators
13.
9.
They're down to 9 as well. Well, they've had even more of a drop then.
All of these Terminators taking big power level drops.
Big.
Also, worth remembering, these guys are still getting that Angels of Death thing. They've got an extra attack.
Oh,
Terminator Thunder Hammers, 3 attacks a guy in the first round of combat.
Mate, I'm bringing them.
You get that Chaplain, that Deep Strike is a 7-inch charge.
I'm bringing them in. I want to try that on the
I
table.
think they're worth looking at.
Yeah.
I do. I never felt good about shooty Terminators, to be honest. I like the look of them. I've used them in Space Hulk.
Yeah, but that's
but
different thing.
you taking Terminators is to crush your enemies, right?
See them driven before you.
That kind of thing, yeah. Absolutely. Dreadnoughts, I think there's price drops across the board in Dreadnoughts.
7
and
for
reflecting
standard.
the reduced effectiveness of vehicles. The standard Dreadnought gone from 7 down to 5.
Ironclads.
Ironclad 8 down to 7.
Point. Venerable.
Down to 6 from
8.
8. But Contemptor
That's
down
down
to
to as well.
6. Can he still take the butcher cannons? Contemptor Dreadnought.
Carries pattern assault cannon.
One multi-melter.
Every 6 strength 7 -1. Which is the same.
So what
What are you thinking of?
are butcher cannons on these things? That must be a Forge World thing.
Oh god, yeah. You're thinking about the Grav Flux Bombards and all that malarkey. Yes, mate, that's pay to win. That's pay to win game in there.
That's handling resin there. That's what that is.
That's what that is.
It's not just the money, it's the fact that it's all resin. But a Redemptor, my friend, down from 10 to 7.
That's a fat drop.
That is a fat drop. At 7, I have played with these guys time after time. I've got 3 of them because I'm an idiot. Because I like Dreadnought.
They look cool though.
They look
it's
rad.
a beast of a model.
They're impossible to hide behind most scenery.
Completely
'cause they're too
impossible.
big. They still do D6 mortal wounds within 6 inches if they blow up.
That's why they're my favourite.
Yeah, and if you've got 3 of them, there's a good chance that one of them blows up.
Yep.
But all that said, at 7 power, I'm going to bring them back out again.
I think you should.
I get 3 in the list at 21 power.
Yeah.
I can't have 3 in a 50 power level game.
Well, you still have to.
But, as we turn the page, my friend, and we look at the Invicta Tactical
I'll turn my
Warsuit,
page just because you mentioned turning a page.
or the baby carrying Dreadnought.
Yes.
See, used to be, to get in a Dreadnought, you had to be like dead.
You gotta be dead, mate.
You've got to
Then
be.
You're scooped
it's
up.
just
You're put in a
brains
jar.
and your bollocks in a box in a coffin.
Load you up
Sometimes with your head sticking out the front,
if you're lucky.
or bits of your
Or
head. If you're
unlucky.
chaos.
Yeah.
But not anymore. You can just climb in there. You got like a little climbing frame to get in, little roll cage.
Why?
So this is like a scout version and walk. I mean, okay, it's a bit Gundam and so forth. I do actually like it. I just don't think it's very 40k.
No, it's quite
It's
the
not
opposite.
40k. It's very sci-fi.
It's not very grimdark. It's like no.
No. Walkers. It's better than those Grey Knight ones though, where they're literally like dangling in the front in their armour.
At least he's
like
got a
they're
little chair. He's sitting.
Yeah, he's
down.
actually sat behind a cage in there, which has even got some foam lagging on it.
Just in case he
Just in
bops
case
his
he
head.
bashes his noggin.
Oh.
Well, if he was a space wolf in there, he won't be wearing his lid, will he?
No.
He won't be wearing his lid. Mate, you've got to take his lid off. Anyway, so this thing, it's got the option of taking this Iron Hail heavy stubber. No, Iron Hail, twin Iron Hail autocannon, which is heavy 6, strength 7 AP, -1/2 damage. That's alright. Or the Incendium cannon, which is a 2d6 heavy flamer that's got a range of 12 and automatically hits. So strength 5, AP -1, 2d6 automatic hits,
Hang on a minute.
at a 12-inch range, and this thing can advance deploy to within 9 inches of the enemy.
So that means you're there and you're just like.
Yeah. But you know what? If you
That's mental.
haven't been following this guy does have another weapon, which is
Yes.
the best and the silliest thing about it.
Dead or alive.
He's got a Robocop gun. He's got a heavy bolter on his hip, and there's actually a rule allows him to fire it as a pistol in combat.
I love that.
He can shoot that heavy bolter as a pistol. So that heavy flamer, all that concealed position, that all looks great. But let's not forget, this guy is still a dreadnought.
He's still a
He's
dreadnought.
still got 4 attacks or 5 in the first round of combat. That's gonna punch you at strength 14, AP -3 and flat 3 damage. This guy gets 5 Thunderhammer attacks.
We're going to be seeing a lot of these, aren't we?
If you want to fight, this is the guy. And if the enemy goes first and they want to charge him, I don't mind. Do you know? 6 power.
Holy crap.
I think these are quite
How is
expensive
it only
kits, though, aren't
6 power?
No, because in points that's 120. This is still a vehicle. It's toughness 6, 13 wounds, but it's got no invuln save. You get a couple of melter guns on tap. You know, a single tactical squad could take this guy out for shooting.
I suppose that is there.
I'm not saying they wouldn't need to be a little bit lucky, but the problem with vehicles still exists fundamentally. We just realised how long we've been waffling on, so we're going to speed up a bit, right?
Plenty of waffle.
Reavers down to 4 power level. Bit of a drop there. I might start using them again.
Have you actually even got any Reavers?
Mate, I've got 10.
5 here.
Yeah.
4 there.
Yeah. Aggressors, 5
6.
points. 5 power down from 6.
And
But also they've got extra wound.
Stat. Yeah.
Extra wound. And their guns are going to benefit from some of those tactical doctrines. Their lack of AP is a big problem for them.
Yes. They've got nothing with AP.
Bike squads down to 4. I don't know what they were before.
5.
4. But you can take quite a lot of gear on a bike squad. You can melee them up. I like bikes.
You love your Black Claw bikes.
I love my Blood Claw bikes, yeah.
Assault Squad, 5.
The Insector squad, then looking at the fast attacks, down
10?
to 7 from 10.
Mate, they're proper plugging this Primera stuff.
Well, so the 10 meant you almost never saw them because it's 6 wounds. Because they've got those paired plasma pistols, they're obscenely powerful but extremely fragile.
Yeah.
Extremely fragile. At 7, it's still 7 power for 6 wounds.
And an
but
extra
it's
wound.
Not 6
You've got
wounds,
an extra wound, mate.
because it's 9 wounds.
Yeah. You're going to see some more of them bad boys too then.
I've got 3 still on the sprue because
Oh,
I felt
mate.
I'm never
gonna
using
use
them
them.
at those prices. Yeah. Suppressor squad at 4. These are the guys with the Super
not got
Mario
those.
boots, bouncy boots.
Yep.
That came with the Shadow Spear. At 4. No new gun options for them, unfortunately.
I thought they'd be getting some sort of derpy las cannon thing. Surely.
That's the snipers who are heavy support. Scout bikes at 3. I don't know what they were before, but that's really cheap.
3.
3 fast attack, mate.
We've moved on. We've moved on, man.
Scout bikes at 3. Land speeders at 4. That's a big change. You're going the wrong way, I'm sure.
I'm going the wrong way, for sure.
Land speeder was 6. Because the Typhoon missile launcher is so expensive, or was, but the chassis is really crap. At 4, I used one a little bit in those games at 6, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I used it a bit for the mobility. Yeah, Scout bike has gone from lead to bottoms on the same page. Oh. Attack bikes, 2 power. Would I use a single attack bike?
Would you?
Well, if you want a cheap unit to be able to zip onto an objective, it's not bad.
I don't like it. You're thinking, man. This makes me
I'm
scared.
thinking.
This makes me
Devastator
scared.
squad at 6, so now we're on the heavy support.
Oh, stop it! 8, 6, down 2.
Big drop.
It's like a
Centurions.
weather report.
Eliminators have gone up.
Have I got those in here?
You haven't got
no.
those now.
Hellblasters.
So they
Did
get
not really
new,
know. That's next.
the new Last Fusil,
Yes.
which is heavy 1, strength 8, AP -3, flat 3 damage.
So you're just going to take that over the other one, right? Surely.
Well.
I mean, this gives you a bit more tactical flexibility, I think.
But this is an
'Cause it's got
anti-material
stuff.
rifle. It doesn't. It's not their stat sheet that allows them to shoot characters.
Oh, it's the rounds.
It's the rounds.
Character. Yes. Okay. So it depends on what you want to gear them up for.
Now, if you're looking to go super budget on this and you're playing points, there is an option to give the sergeant a standard-ish rifle. He can just have the Oculus Instigator bolt carbine. You can just take that, and he can do a bit like the Devastator sergeant. He can give the rest of the squad +1 to hit.
Okay. I've heard he can do another thing as well with that gun, covering fire.
No, that's a different thing. The first time the unit's eliminated sergeant fires Overwatch with Instigator bolt carbine in the opponent's turn, this unit can, after resolving its Overwatch, move as if it were the movement phase. First time in the game they get charged, he pops off a round along with the rest of the squad.
And they bugger off.
And then they cheese it.
I like that. I really... yeah.
Well, it's another rule, and we've had a lot
Ignoring
of rules.
ignoring rules, just the aesthetic of it.
Yes.
I'm really liking this.
But you have to give up the high-powered rifle to do that. But it's not so bad if he's normally just saying, right, shoot that one.
Oi!
Giving him +1. +1 to hit and wound as well.
Wow.
They also upped the gun. The gun has now gone to strength 5, the standard sniper rifle.
Good. They needed that.
They needed that, absolutely. Hellblaster's gone from 8 down to 6. Very viable. 6. Very viable.
Plasma spam.
Plasma spam, especially if you're Dark Angels. Now we move into the older crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff.
The
Thunderfire
cannon,
is
the
down.
Hunter. This information is going to be everywhere, including on Battlescribe within a few days. Interesting for me, I think the Predator's gone down to 8. I like
Interesting
Predators.
for me too. I like Predators.
You got 3 Predators, so you got a little bit of a save in there. Land Raider down to 15, but I still don't think I'd
That's
use
a big
one.
old... I mean, I've got an old RT Rumbler that I might fill for 15.
Rumbler. Now,
16, 18.
the Rhino is down to 3.
Okay.
Now, 3, you can still have a pair of Stonebolters and a Hunter Killer Missile on that thing.
Yeah.
That's not
3 power.
3 power. And if you're using Beakies, John, I'd take it. I'd take it. Because the Razorback's still 5. So you paying a lot for that Twin Las or whatever, suddenly.
Oh, yeah.
The Repulsor Executioner is 15 power. This is the new Repulsor with the stupidly big gun. The Macro Plasma Incinerator.
Guns. Holy... Heavy
This
laser
thing.
destroyer.
The Heavy Laser Destroyer
cannon.
is heavy D10, heavy 2, strength 10, AP -4 and D6 damage. Minimum 3 damage though. And it's got... Oh, where is it?
That is filth.
Aquiline Optics. It's a bit like grinding advance for the Lehman Russ. If it moves less than half, doesn't count as moving, can double shoot the top gun. Pew pew! But it's 15 power, mate.
Well, that's
a lot.
When you compare that
That's a
to the Land Raider, which you said dropped to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got millions of other guns, hasn't it? All over the place. It's still a repulsor. So that's sweet. It's got power to machine spirit. It's great. Razorback's still at 5. Drop pods, though. Drop pods are back, mate. Because drop pods...
They're back in a big way.
Drop pods, you can turn 1 deep strike.
And they've dropped 2 power. And...
Yeah, they're down to 3 power. But you can't put Primaris Marines in them still.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you're still looking at... Can you take... No, you can't put Terminators in it either.
No. Well, they just flop down anyways.
They just... Yeah, but they can't do it on turn 1.
Oh yeah.
But for 3 power, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Especially as say if you got and of course you provide yourself with a bit of line of sight blocking. You plop the drop pod down where you want it to be, and you get the bad boys out.
Especially if you custom build your own drop pods.
Melon size.
Out of like 20-litre water bottles.
Yeah, yeah. Which can hide a Redemptor Dreadnought behind, perhaps.
Hide a Warhound behind.
Land Speed of Storm down to 3.
From 5.
From 5. 3. I like the fact that these transport vehicles are getting a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But the Land Speed of Storm has got
I've
7 wounds.
I've never seen one on the field.
Never.
Never.
It's because they're terribly overpriced. But they're actually open topped. The scouts can still shoot their missile launcher out of that. Hey! Absolutely, mate. Get in there. Repulsor at 15. So it's the same as the Executioner. Because what you got with a Repulsor is you get the transport capacity and even more guns. Now, all the guns on this, as you look down the list here, pretty much all of it says heavy. And what that means is as long as you've got that Devastator Doctrine active, this thing is all getting +1 AP. On something like 8. It's something mental. It's like 80 shots or something.
Last cannon will be -4. Yeah.
This thing is going to kick out a stupid number of shots.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's got the power of the machine spirit. And there's still all these hover vehicles have got that reduce your charge by 2 inches, increase your charge distance by 2 because of the upwash.
That hasn't got that Aquilon do for what's
No, it doesn't have the.
okay.
It doesn't have the.
I thought that might have been a Primaris
No,
vehicle
it's just
overlay
for
for all of it. Okay,
executioner,
just for that one.
Yeah. The Impulsor, which is the new hover rhino for Primaris Marines, only put 6 guys in. It can't transport Gravis armor. 6 guys. It's got the assault vehicle rule, which is interesting because the one thing you can't do when on an assault vehicle is assault the turn you get out of it. And the assault vehicle rule allows you to get out after the vehicle has moved.
Okay.
But you can't then make an assault and make a charge roll. It's got the repulsor field, and it's got different weapon options, so you can take a twin missile launcher on the back, except as well as frag and crack, it has Icarus missiles, which are heavy D3 and do D3 damage to 7 AP -1 against flyers, +1 to hit, -1 to hit against everybody else.
Okay.
It's not bad. Or it can take a 4-up invuln save. It has a shield dome. When we heard about this, I was hoping that the shield dome
Like an
would cover some of the infantry around it, but it doesn't. It covers the vehicle.
Just covers the vehicle.
But you give up that top gun slot for that. And finally, orbital comms array allows you to call down an orbital bombardment once in the game. I think in your shooting phase, yeah, you can do it once per game.
Once
and
per game.
It's D6 for everybody within D6 of the aim point. On a 4-up, they get D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the Captain Command
Sounds
Point 1.
like it.
Yeah, yeah. If you're genuinely using it as a transport vehicle, and just as a transport vehicle, that's probably not a bad idea, because you're expecting it to get shot up, and so the fact that it can only do this once a game isn't that big a deal. Yeah. Now there's lots of minor adjustments, I think, in the Stormhawk Interceptor down to 9 and the Storm Talon gunship down to 8. We didn't look in detail at all of these things, but
how much is your Bobby G now? In
Bobby G not in here, sir. You're gonna have to buy the Ultramarine special. So the rest of the book, there are some other changes, a few other changes.
Oh, like mainly the war gears at the back, not the front.
The war gears all at the back rather than the front. Yeah. It said you've got some information in here about things that count as bolt weapons and things that count as flame weapons because of how that interacts with stratagems and the Beta Bolter discipline rule.
The Beta Bolter.
You've also got this successor chapter tactics thing. So this is a little bit like the Imperial Knight Free Blades. You can kind of build your own successor chapter.
I like that too.
I'm not sure whether this is such a good idea. These kind of things are always open to a lot of exploitation.
Massively.
There's people who do it for fluff.
Yep.
But generally people are just going to pick the 3 best ones. And the 3 best ones are going to be better than I haven't looked in detail at how you do that. Because generally I find things like this a bit broken in most game systems.
People will find a way to break that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Warlord traits we've got some information about the 8 chapters that are of particular interest to us. And then the stratagems. There's some new ones. There's some old ones. I think there's some stuff from Vigilus, like the Veteran Interceptors. I couldn't find...
There's only one I'm looking for, and that is Space Marine stratagem called Kill Shot.
Yeah, and I don't think it's here.
Perhaps they just changed its name.
They may
Perhaps
have
they've changed it to something else.
They may have done.
They got rid of it.
That was like Jonny B's
That was like my
only
one
tactic.
and only tactic. Pop down 3 Preds and pop a kill shot.
And pop a kill shot off every turn. In fact,
I cry.
There's not much in here about the specific units. You know, there was one for the Whirlwind.
Land Speeder.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff.
Psychers.
It may be that. Now, we can't know how much more is coming in the individual codices.
Oh, that might be an Ultramarines
specific.
Shot.
Yeah, you could hope for that, yeah. But we understand that they are. And I believe that your chapter traits, your chapter tactics, all these things, they also work for vehicles.
Yes. Which I want to take credit for. I was the pioneer of the Ultramarines falling back with vehicles and still firing
due
to misreading the actual rule.
Yeah.
So I pioneered that. Remember that, folks.
Remember that. John cheated, and yeah. So that was a first glance through this. We both have marine armies, although mine are Space Wolves, which technically are not Codex compliant. And you've got your RTB 01 BPs.
01's on the field.
Next thing I think we should do with this is we should get videos up with how our armies are going to be different.
Shall we do it like what we used to do? Because we do 50 power.
We used to do 50 power with endgame objectives. Yeah, it's a nice casual format.
Should we do that then?
So should we talk about the army we used to have? So you do what you had and what you used to have and what you're going to try next.
Yeah.
And we'll do one where I had what I used to have and what I'll do next.
And then play a game.
And then we'll play a game on a camera. We might have to do it like end of turn stuff.
Possibly.
There's been some issues around table size and actually being able to see what's going on. We'll have to muck around with that. All right, that was our first look at Codex Space Marines.
Thanks for listening to us waffle on. Bye.
Bye. Mate.
And I didn't even do anything. I was trying not to fall asleep. I think that was the best thing I did.
Well, we'll see.